Okay, we are discussing about the agriculture sector, agricultural policy. Okay, we are discussing about the agricultural policy. So here, when we are talking about this agriculture sector, okay, we discussed that contribution, growth rates, agriculture sector growth rate and contribution, and what are the problems are facing the agriculture sector, and what are the solutions, and what is the importance. Okay, all these things we discussed till now. Okay, here even whatever the things there in the new economic survey about the agriculture sector, that is 2019-20 economic survey, the importance of highlights related to agriculture sector in 2019-20 economic survey also, okay, we discussed. And we also discussed about the land holdings. Okay, land holdings, the conditions, the status of the land holdings in the country. Okay, now we will try to discuss agricultural, okay, that is agricultural finance, okay, issues. Agricultural, the finance issues we have to, okay, we will discuss now. What is agricultural finance? Or what is agriculture credit? Okay, agriculture finance or agriculture credit, we will discuss. Credit, nothing but taking the financial support from others for agricultural development, for agricultural activities. Okay, if the farmer is taking the financial support from others for agricultural activities, okay, that will come under the what you call agricultural credit or agricultural finance, what we can say. Here, according the NSSO report and according the All India Rural Credit Society, okay, like according the Dr. Godgill report before 1960s, all these committees are saying that, of course it is fact also, according to their surveys, the Indian farmer is born in debt, growing in debt, and finally death also in the debt. Okay, when he is born, his family is in the debt position. So throughout his life, that family is in the what you call debt. Okay, like also when the farmer is going to die, at the time also is going to die with the debt, and the debt is transforming to their children's. Okay, this is the condition. Why this condition is there in the country? Here particularly the Indian farmer are poor farmer. So as we discussed many times, he getting income very low. It is not sufficient to meet his requirement. So his low level of the income is not able to meet his requirement itself. So that's why whatever the income he is getting from the agricultural activities, from the cultivation, okay, that income is not able to keep for the future investment in the for the cultivation activities. Okay, throughout the year, the farmer is getting either income once or two times. Okay, but so his expenditure will be throughout the year. So without income, he is spending the money. So to meet his requirements, he is borrowing money from others, and trying to satisfy his requirement. But whenever he gets the income, immediately, so the farmer is trying to repay that amount for the old loans. That's why you don't have any surplus income. Since you don't have any surplus income, is not money is not available to that person for the future investment. Okay, for the future investment, it is not available. Okay, that is one point here. So that's why here immediately is borrowing money from others for the investment and trying to go for the agricultural activities, and whenever he is getting the income again is paying is repaying the amount for the old loans, and again is trying to take the money from others for the next investment. Okay, this is the condition of the farmers. Okay, if the farmer will get the surplus income, automatically without borrowing money from others, he can use that surplus money for the investment. Since he is not getting the surplus income, the farmer want to borrow money from others. That is the condition, that is the situation in the country. Okay, in this particular condition, okay, we can say that, okay, the farmer required, okay, the farmer want, okay, the farmer want money, okay, the farmer want money or financial help, okay, financial help is required for three purpose, okay, for three purposes. It is required for three purposes. Three types of requirement is there. So because of these three requirements are necessaries, the farmer is borrowing money from others. Okay, these are called, one is known as the short-term credit. Just you understand what is short-term credit. Okay, the short-term credit is nothing but it is the money, financial support required to the farmer to meet agriculture activities, particularly one crop. One crop. So what are the things is required for one crop? Okay, here the farmer is purchasing the inputs for only one crop. It is not using for the second crop. Like purchasing of the seeds. Okay, purchasing of the seeds, what we can say. Purchasing of the fertilizers. Okay, purchasing of the fertilizers. Okay, purchasing of the pesticides. Okay, wages for the laborers, payment of the wages for the laborers. Amount to till the land. Okay, for all this purpose, if the farmer don't have his own money, okay, farmer don't have his own money, so he is purchasing money from others. Purchasing money from others. So borrowing money from others. So this is known as a short-term credit. Generally, this period is a maximum up to 15 months. That is more than 1 year. So that means here, after the harvesting the crop, whenever the farmer is getting the income, after harvesting he is going to sell his product in the market, he will get the income. So once he will receive the income, so immediately he has to repay this loan. This is known as the short-term credit. Okay, short-term credit. And the next type of the category is known as the medium-term credit. So here the medium-term credit is required to the farmers for the utilities for the more than 2 crops. Okay, more than 2 crops. Like agricultural tools, maybe plough. So when the farmer if the farmer want to purchase the agricultural tools, If you don't have the money, so he is borrowing money from others. So these tools, once you will purchase, it will be useful for more than one crop, more than 2 years, more than 3 years, like that. Okay, agricultural tools, purchasing of the agricultural tools, and the small development activities on his own land, like the construction of the gattu, that is pensioning, what you can say, and purchasing of the cattle, and repairing of the bores, digging the well. Okay, for all these purposes, if you don't have the money, if the farmer is borrowing money from others, it is known as the medium term credit. So this period in between 15 years to 5 years. Okay, within 5 years he has to repay that type of loans generally. And the third is known as the long term credit. Long term credit. So the long term credit is required to the farmer to purchase the agriculture related assets and to protect the agriculture related assets. Okay. For example, purchasing farmland, purchasing tractor, purchasing harvesting machine. Okay, like if there is any litigations related to agricultural land, to pay court fees, that is protection. So for these purposes, if the farmer is borrowing the money from others, it will be called long-term credit. So generally this period is more than 5 years. Okay, this type of loans you will pay with installments. Okay, with installments you will try to pay loan in the long run. Okay, that is what we can say. Okay, here the farmer agriculture credit. Here, try to remember one important aspect here. Farmer loans are different from the agricultural loans. All farmers' loan may not be agricultural loans. Suppose, if the farmer is borrowing money to construct one house, it is the loan borrowed by the farmer, but not the agricultural purpose. Like if the farmer is borrowing money to pay school fees of his children, it is the borrowing money by the farmer but not for the agricultural purpose. If the farmer is borrowing money from others to celebrate festivals, birthdays or marriages, functions like that, okay, that may be loan borrowed by the farmer but not for the agricultural purpose. But here, if the farmer is borrowing money to purchase the cattle, to purchase the seeds, to purchase the fertilizers, to purchase a new farm land, to dig the bore wells, purchasing of the motors, for the payment of the current bills, like that. Okay, this is the loan borrowing by the farmer for the agricultural activity. That's why it will come under the agriculture loans. So that's why agriculture credit nothing but whatever the loans taken by the farmer for his agricultural activities, that loan only will called agriculture credit or agricultural finance, what we can say. Okay, that is called agricultural finance, what we can say. So here, generally, the sources of agriculture credit broadly divided into two categories. Okay, the sources of agricultural credit divided into mainly two categories. That is what you call institutional credit and non-institutional credit. Okay, non-institutional, what you call credit. Okay, institutional credit and non-institutional credit. The non-institutional credit means it is unorganized sector, what you can say. It is called unorganized sector. This is called organized sector. Okay, in the unorganized sector, in the non-institutional credit, we can say that landlords, okay, like landlords, mainly money lenders, okay, traders, commission agents, relatives, okay, friends, okay, friends. So if the farmer is borrowing money from all these people, which will come under the unorganized sector, they don't have any rules and regulations. Okay, they are not working any control. They don't have any principles. Okay, among them the money lender was the most important sources. Before 1990s, in the agriculture credit, okay, this the money lenders was the main important sources. Today also this is one of the most important sources, that is money lender. But whenever the farmer is borrowing money through money lender, actually the money lender will lend money with a high rate of interest. If there is no crop during this particular period, the farmer is not getting the income due to lack of rainfall or because of this failure of the monsoon or weather condition or flood and all. So even though he is not getting the income, but the money lender will try to collect the money along with the interest, that too with more interest. So that's why the farmers are not able to repay the loan, and in meanwhile, because the farmer is not paying the loan, the money lender, so he is occupying his farmland, agriculture land. Like that, the so many farmers, they are going to lost his their farmland. Okay, it was the more burden on the farmers. Okay, this is the situation actually. Okay, when you come to this institutional credit, okay, under the institutional credit, generally we may see the commercial banks. Okay, what are the commercial banks? And we know in the 4th chapter. And commercial banks and cooperative banks and regional rural banks. These are the main important sources in the institutional credit. So these institutions, they are mobilizing deposit from the public. From the public, they are mobilizing deposits. One. And the second, they are taking the money from the RBI. And sometimes they are taking money from the NABARD. Okay, after the borrowing money from the RBI and NABARD and deposit from the public, so this money is lending to the farmers. Almost all these institutions like that only. Okay, they are lending money to the farmers. So these are the most important institutional agricultural sources in the country. So in our country, okay, almost today we in the non-institutional credit importance was reduced like anything. Almost 95 to 96% of the agriculture credit is coming from the institutional credit now. Institutional credit. So within this institutional credit, so nearly almost 79 to 80% of the agriculture credit goes from the commercial banks. Commercial banks is the most important agriculture credit sources for the farmers now. Okay, nearly 79 to 80% agriculture credit is coming from the only commercial banks. Around 15% of the agriculture credit is coming from the cooperative banks, and around 5% agriculture credit is coming from the regional rural banks. But nowadays, one more important organization in the institutional credit is microfinance institutions are started. Okay, microfinance institutions. So from the microfinance institutions, so it is coming around 1%, like this. Okay, these four are the mainly commercial bank, then cooperative banks. So then RRBs, and nowadays the microfinance institutions are emerging. Okay, they are also providing the loans for the agricultural sector. Okay, these are the sources of the agricultural credit, agricultural finance.